The voice that disappeared. A mystery begins. In a world where thousands of voices grace television every year, few manage to leave behind an echo that refuses to fade. Lucy Thomas is one of them. At just 14, her voice stopped Britain in its tracks during her audition on The Voice Kids UK. Her angelic soprano tones soared across the hall, and in seconds, all three judges turned their chairs. But just as quickly as she rose to fame, Lucy disappeared. No talk show appearances, no major label deals, no flashy campaigns. Instead, silence. The kind that makes people ask questions. What happened to the girl who moved a nation with a single note? Why did someone so talented choose to retreat just when the world wanted more? Behind the polished stage lights was a story that never made headlines, and fans across the world were left with one question echoing louder than her high notes: where did Lucy Thomas go? The audition that froze the room. It was 2018 when Lucy stepped onto the stage of The Voice Kids UK and performed Ave Maria, a choice that surprised even the show's producers. Within seconds, Danny Jones, Pixie Lott, and Will.i.am turned around in disbelief. The expression on their faces said it all. They weren't just listening to a child, they were witnessing something beyond explanation. Viewers at home described the moment as otherworldly. Lucy, a soft-spoken teen from Wigan, had chosen a classical piece over trendy pop songs, saying, "This is where I find myself." It was a declaration of identity, not strategy. Danny Jones quickly took her under his wing, calling her an angel in real life. But while fans expected Lucy's path to superstardom to be automatic, her journey was anything but typical. Even before the show began, there were doubts, and they came from the people who loved her most. The decision that almost never happened. What few people know is that Lucy Thomas almost didn't audition at all. Her family, especially her mother Diana, worried about the pressures of putting a young girl in front of millions. While the public saw grace and control on stage, behind the scenes was a quiet hesitation. But it was her vocal coach who convinced the family to take the leap, assuring them it wasn't about chasing fame, it was about discovering potential. That leap of faith paid off. In the battle rounds, Lucy stood out with her performance of You Raise Me Up, drawing praise for her breath control and emotional range. Judges compared her to seasoned opera performers. But her talent also made her different. So different, in fact, that it may have worked against her. As the show leaned toward mainstream pop, Lucy's classical voice, despite winning hearts, didn't win the competition. And just like that, her television journey ended. Or so it seemed. After the spotlight, a sudden silence. When Lucy Thomas didn't appear in the finals of The Voice Kids UK, many were shocked. Her semi-final performance of The Prayer was described as breathtaking, yet it wasn't enough to advance. For weeks, fans speculated about the reasons. Was it a format decision? A preference for pop appeal? The show never commented. But what followed was even more surprising. Lucy went completely silent. No interviews, no label signings, not even a thank you post on her official channels. The silence stretched for months. People began to wonder if she had walked away for good. It was a move that defied the rules of the modern music industry, where visibility is currency. But for Lucy, it wasn't about staying visible. It was about staying true. And in the quiet, she began crafting something far more personal than a primetime spotlight could ever offer. Reinventing the artist, a digital rebirth. Rather than sign a record deal, Lucy Thomas made an unconventional choice. She went independent. With the help of her mother, she began uploading song covers to a self-managed YouTube channel. Using a simple home setup and free editing software, she recorded powerful renditions of songs like Hallelujah and Somewhere. The visuals were minimal. No flashy lights, no dance routines, just her voice and a microphone. But the impact was massive. Videos quickly gained hundreds of thousands of views. Fans around the globe left comments calling her voice healing, magical, and unforgettable. Her debut album Premiere came out under a small classical label, Cavendish Records, and received modest yet heartfelt praise. Without media buzz or a promotional budget, Lucy had managed to create a growing fan base. But just as her second album, Encore, gained momentum, something unexpected happened that forced her to hit pause again. The unspoken setback. When silence meant healing. In early 2021, Lucy Thomas vanished from the internet again, this time without explanation. For 3 months, there were no new videos, no updates, and no announcements. Fans grew worried. Speculation spread across YouTube and Reddit. But eventually, Lucy returned with a quiet but honest Instagram post. She had suffered a vocal strain injury. Doctors advised complete rest after she experienced ongoing issues from performing difficult high notes. For a singer whose identity revolved around her voice, the diagnosis was emotionally heavy. Lucy wrote, "I once thought that if I lost my voice, I would lose myself." Her decision to stay silent wasn't withdrawal, it was survival. No public statements, no drama, just healing. During that time, she began vocal therapy, learned to care for her overall health, and redefined her pace. It wasn't the end. It was the start of something more intentional and more powerful. A new sound, a new Lucy. In September 2024, Lucy returned with her third album, Timeless, and this time, the change was unmistakable. It wasn't just a new collection of songs, it was a statement. Most tracks were original compositions written during her recovery. The lead single, Forever, was a tribute to her late grandmother, the woman who first taught her to sing. In a rare moment caught on camera, Lucy broke into tears during recording, unable to finish the final verse. For an artist known for her control, this raw emotion marked a turning point. Musically, Timeless expanded beyond classical. There were orchestral ballads, cinematic themes, even light electronic textures. Critics noted influences from Hans Zimmer to early Coldplay. Lucy was evolving, not chasing trends, but embracing growth. And despite the low-key release, the album crossed 1 million streams in its first month. Once again, she let her voice speak louder than any headline. Quiet fame, sold-out tours without spotlight. As Timeless gained traction, Lucy embarked on a mini European tour in late 2024. But as expected, she did things her way. No massive arenas, no commercial sponsors, just theaters holding less than 1,000 people. From Manchester to Glasgow, every show sold out in under 72 hours. There were no LED backdrops or backup dancers. Instead, a grand piano, a string quartet, and her voice. Music critics praised the artistic purity of the performances, calling them rare in an age of spectacle. In the US, she debuted quietly in Manhattan to a modest crowd. Yet again, the concert created a ripple effect online, described by one reviewer as a whisper that cut through the city's chaos. Around the same time, her piano cover of A Million Dreams went viral on TikTok. Lucy hadn't gone quiet. She was simply speaking to a different audience in a different way. The private star, simplicity as a statement. Away from the stage, Lucy Thomas lives a remarkably grounded life. She still resides in Wigan with her parents, far from the glamour often associated with rising artists. Her sister, Martha Thomas, is a professional footballer, but the two rarely appear together in public. On Instagram, Lucy rarely posts selfies or promotional content. Instead, she shares moments with her dog Bella, studio clips, or behind-the-scenes smiles. Fans often describe her profile as a calm space in the noise of social media. When asked about dating during a live stream, she laughed and said, "Music is my long-term relationship." That line alone received thousands of likes. Her authenticity isn't a marketing tactic, it's who she's always been. No stylists, no publicists, no viral stunts. Just a voice and a young woman determined to protect it. But as the music world evolves, many wonder, can that still be enough? The blueprint of silence, legacy beyond limelight. Lucy Thomas may not have the media coverage of viral pop stars, but her journey offers something deeper. She didn't pursue fame. She built art. She didn't rely on gimmicks. She trusted her gift. With over 500,000 YouTube subscribers and a growing international fanbase, Lucy has quietly redefined what success looks like in modern music. In a world obsessed with visibility, she chose invisibility with impact. On Discord, fans translate her lyrics into multiple languages, host listening parties, and even speculate which anonymous account might be Lucy herself. Some critics argue she's too soft for a loud world, but perhaps that's exactly why her voice resonates. In a January 2024 interview, Lucy said, "I don't need fame to succeed. I want people to remember my voice, not my dress." It's a sentiment that lingers, because sometimes the voices that last longest are the ones that whisper.